My name is Raza Sadiq, and this is my story for Colourful Heritage. I came to Glasgow in 1989 to join my wife because I was married in 1988 in Pakistan. I came to obviously London, arrived at the airport, and then my wife, she was waiting for me to go on the coach, and long journey from London to Glasgow, and arrived in Govan Hill, Dixon Avenue. And it was very cold, and I came obviously from a hot weather, and I found, oh, November is that cold, and what will happen after those months? But it was a shock to the system. Obviously, you're coming in a new place which you are not familiar. Though we used to have kind of a conversation via letters and telling each other about how things are, but that was a real kind of a scene to see how the Glasgow look like and how the people are living here. Well, when I came in, obviously anyone who came probably before me, and the mission is finding a job because you're in a new place. And it was difficult for me to look into because I came from a good profession from Pakistan, and finding employment here was tricky at that time because I was trained aeronautical engineer, and I had passions and had a 10-year experience as well. And I started applying, and once in a 1 week I sent 100 letters, and out of 100 letters I just received one reply after a few months: sorry, we don't have any vacancies. And the rest they never even bothered to respond to. And I went to colleges and to seek out advice. This is a qualification I have, and I was recommended by colleges, no, we don't have any course like this. And then I looked into, can I go to university, and not just starting from the beginning, but starting where I left. But that was not possible either. And I started attending my wife's and my other in-laws' small business, and rather than being bored, or if I'm at home, and I was looking after my son as well. So that was a quite busy time for family because the Christmas was quite close to, and which was a bit shock when I went to the market, and a lot of kind of a buzz and music and festival, and I found a bit kind of a daunting at that time because the family is busy, I'm new and don't know many people around. But finally I managed to start a job in cash and carry, which was totally upsetting, being very open and honest, because never worked in my life like that, and the culture and the behavior and the people, the way they respond to you, and I found very difficult to adjust. And after 3 days I left, and I never asked for my wages either because I couldn't survive in that place. But luckily I managed to find employment with Azad video because I used to go to hire a film because they were quite local, and one of the young man, he arrived from Pakistan I think a few months before me, and he said to me, oh, they are looking for somebody. And from there I managed to get a job with Azad video. Azad video, obviously that was a survival kind of a job for me because obviously I've got family here and I've got family in Pakistan like many arrivals, so they have to really earn money and save them and send money to them as well. So for me that was a compromise with my career as well, so decided to go with this one. It was a very low paid job. It was a 225 at that time pounds per hour, which was not really a huge wages. Long hours, like 60 hours a week, but it was very close to the house. I used to see my children every lunchtime, and which was helping me. Obviously a lot of people from Pakistani background, they used to come in there as well. This is how I started making link with people as well. Luckily I had a good family, and they were supportive in making sure there's less demands on me from a wife either. The company went to bankrupt, and I was offered to move to another place in an office setting, well, that kind of experience was very repetitive. You turn up in the morning and go back after 10 hours. And that triggered a big change in my life. And I decided to join college. And when I went to college for admission, and I went for automotive technology and management, because I felt like that's the area I can relate to. When I went there, and the college was quite difficult in a sense, because there was a low-level course in which I was really not learning much, because I had a very good grasp of technology. But then they managed to move me. I completed 3-year course in a 1 year. Then I went to 2 other courses, and when I finished, and I achieved really well, and I was given an outstanding achievement for my HND. And the company who gave me outstanding award, when I applied a job with them, they never offered me a job. But it was a difficult transition through there as well, because my accent was not Glaswegian. Sometimes people make fun of you because you can't speak that level. And I was very impressed with the people, those who were using a lot of jargons about the community work, which I was not familiar with. So there was a difficult transition, but if you're a hard worker, I'm sure you can really achieve that potential. So which I did. And then I started working, and when I started working, I realized I can do more, because I was really good at interacting with people, and advocacy was Pakistani and Indian elderly people. We were helping them with appointments and GP surgeries and hospitals, and which gave me really a good insight to the challenges faced by our community. There was a part of discrimination people were facing at that time, and I witnessed already. But I was somebody who will speak up when some people were not. So it's just really, from there, I decided to go for a post-graduation in equality and discrimination in Strathclyde University. I was relating to some of the challenging I faced, but I was really opening up to big challenges. And those challenges were really a transition for me to move my career. I went to a mental health project where I worked with, and I saw inequality on that level, when the people from ethnic minorities, they were hardly getting a lip service at that time. And then still it's happening in health inequalities is a major issue. And still our communities are not really getting what they are supposed to be getting. But there has been a change, and there has been progression, because a lot of professionals are in now. They are pushing for inequalities to be challenged. At the same time, I managed to a new job, which was in a community development. So I worked there for 1.5 years and moved to another job. So every job I was moving, I was progressing. When I moved to another job, which I'm in for 19 years now, so this was the job I moved into, working with young people. And that was the area I was not really very comfortable. I used to change my direction sometime, when the group of young people are coming, you move on the side in case they say something to you. But I went through an interview. I managed to get through that interview. I received an offer. Project was called Positive Futures. And it's a very kind of a eye-catchy name, but this was based on a research, because the young people, those who are going through difficulties, they need one contact point where they can go to, and that person can be their mentor and advocate and a coach. I was looking into health inequalities, and Active Life Club came to existence in 1999. Active Life, obviously the idea was we can promote health and fitness, being part of a health project, because the men are working obviously odd hours, and the health is an issue for many. But mainstream organizations, they were not very connected, and there was a lack of opportunities for people to participate. For example, during the day, most of the places are open when most of these guys are working. So it just really, we felt like let's create a platform, and that platform was, we were running evening badminton for men at one stage, and 8 courts jam-packed. If any young person comes, then there was a bit clash between adults and young people, because young people like to obviously run around and have fun. Adults, they were very serious when they were playing. Then we started bringing young people in 2001. Young people were coming in large numbers because this was a hub for them. They never had something like that where they can go in a safe place and have a fun and meet others. In fact, we were based in Govan Hill, but we were getting young people from West End to Port Shields to Govan Hill and Gorbals, and it was becoming kind of a melting pot because at that time there was not many things happening. And we were growing very fast, and I think so we were growing in a manner it was difficult to manage either, because all volunteers, we don't have a paid staff at that time, and we never had paid staff. My job was allowing me to learn skills. My voluntary work was allowing me to learn from active life, so I was kind of implementing from both sides, which really triggered us keep growing and becoming a project where the community members were really utilizing the facility, and we were gaining reputation and acknowledgement and winning awards. And one of the young person who used to ask me questions, he was very kind of talkative and quite vibrant, and he was age of, I think so, 14 at that time. And I started asking him, it was quite early, you're talking about 2003. I said, oh, why not get involved? Could you help me with this one? Could you do? And that was the first person who was taken on the committee. There was no trend at that time. A 16-year-old can be on the committee. From there, that person is still with Active Life. That young person really created a pathway for so many other young people to join. And now we've got more than probably 60% committees of young people. The first group we had was a really, really difficult group because they were so used to causing kind of a stress and chaos wherever they go. And those young people, now I can count so many, those who were winning awards. Some are going to politics, some are going to all sorts of professions, some are doctors, accountants, you name it. They were picking up those skills along with they can achieve academically, they can achieve spiritually and mentally and physically. So these things were really crucial for their growth. 2014 was quite exceptional for me in a sense of an email came through council and you've been selected for a baton bearer. And I thought maybe it's a kind of a wee joke or something. The day was really, really kind of upbeat because I had, especially Govan Hill, and where I carried a baton, and was probably 200-300 people there, and I was quite kind of carnival and a band and drums and you name it. So that's a history for me, and a history for me and a lesson for so many others. If you put efforts, and I'm sure you can be rewarded. 2016-17 was massive for me personally. Same with the club, because that year I won 5 awards, which were, I think, so was good for Active Life and me to be recognized, and a community to be recognized in a mainstream level. I think for me, key to success is hard work. That's, I'm sure the whole community, they will say, yeah, work hard, but sometimes you need to be really sensible what type of hard work you put in. I always guide people to make sure you take control of your life and you take a lead and you listen to others as well. But the strongest thing for any young person is knowing about themselves. If they become young people more educated, being aware, more resilient, I think so that's the key point for youngsters to obviously flourish within. See, for parents, listen to young people as well, along with when they're making choices for their careers, and let them take a control. I still actively see myself a Muslim. That's the first thing. I have given more to this country than Pakistan, and I see this place as my country. So I'm someone who lives the value of being a good Muslim, a good citizen, and making contribution to the society.